Renewed security arrangements have been made across the country in view of the recent alerts on a possible terror strike. A multi-layer security blanket has been thrown around the national capital with anti-aircraft guns and light machine guns positioned at vantage points. 40,000 paratroopers will be guarding the parade alone, while 83,000 security officials have been deployed across the capital. Special arrangements have been made at Rajpath, where President Pranab Mukherjee, who is the Commander-in-Chief of India's Defence Services, will be witnessing the nation's military might. With him will be French President François Hollande, who is this year's chief guest. I want to go across now to my colleagues Brajesh Pandey, Smita Sharma joining us this morning. Smita tracking François Hollande's visit, and Brajesh is looking at the preparations for the Republic Day parade. Good morning and wishing the both of you a very, very happy Republic Day. I want to go across first to Smita on, the mood on the ground. It's really nice and cozy here in the studio. So when I was driving in, miserably cold this morning as the nation gets set to celebrate Republic Day, Smita.
Well, bonjour, may I say, Rahul, and as well as a good morning to our viewers as well, and a very, very happy Republic Day. And, just to add to that little French flavor, je suis freezing at the moment on the ground. I'm really at this Mandi House circle. We tried going in closer to some of the spots, but security is at an all-time high. And if I could just ask Vinod to maybe try and zoom in a little, because the OB vans are not being allowed. There are only very little specific points that where the OB vans can be parked outside of the India Gate perimeter. Coming from Noida to Mandi House, really, we had to come through at least 4 security checkpoints where our luggage was also checked. François Hollande, of course, the president of France. This is the 5th time that a French serving president is the chief guest at a Republic Day, and it's the highest number of times that honor has been accorded to any foreign head of state. What will also be interesting is, of course, that French troop. You have the 35th Infantry Regiment of France that will be marching in along with the Indian boys, and also the musical, in fact, regiment from France as well, which was created by a royal decree way back in the 16th century. Around 50 musicians that are based in Lyon. So it's going to be very, very spectacular and interesting. The Indian contingent had actually participated at the Bastille Day celebrations in 2009. So we get to see that reciprocity now. But clearly, a couple of people trickling down, going in towards the points at India Gate. We tried stopping them to get in a reaction, but they were all like, "Madam, hame late nahi hona hai. We want to make sure that we grab our seat in time to witness the parade, which is going to be much crisper this time
Some
around."
Interesting modifications to this Republic Day. Much shorter. A dog squad will be in attendance and camera angles being improved. So give our viewers a sense of what's new, what's different, what's improved.
Well, this time what is different, Rahul, is that, in the backdrop of Pathankot terror attack, there has been a massive security, almost unprecedented. I have covered several Republic Days, but I have never seen this kind of security arrangement which has been thrown all over the place. It looks like, the whole area has been barricaded. And, right now I'm standing at Red Fort, and I would ask my camera person to pan and show you the security arrangement here. The whole area has been barricaded, and there are thousands of paramilitary forces and police personnel who have been deployed. The whole even the media was asked to shift to a corner, and the area has been barricaded. So, nothing comes on the main road where the Republic Day parade is going to culminate. All high-rise buildings are fitted with snipers, and, the 5-kilometer area around Rajpath has been declared a no-fly zone. So it's clearly that the government and the security agencies don't want to take any chances. And also the fact that, in the last 48 to 72 hours, the number of people who have been picked based on their allegiance or their sympathy for the ISIS also makes, the task of security agencies as well as the intelligence agencies a lot more difficult. So an extremely unprecedented security arrangement that has been thrown all over the place in Delhi, Rahul.
Okay, let me take our viewers through some of the new highlights at the Republic Day parade this year. This is the first time ever that foreign troops will be part of India's Republic Day parade. A contingent of 123 French soldiers will march alongside Indian troops. One of the major attractions this year, which has already grabbed a lot of attention and raised enthusiasm, is the return of army dogs on Rajpath after 26 long years. Another highlight of this year's Republic Day parade is the all-women stunt squad. named women daredevils of the CRPF, comprising 120 soldiers. This too is happening for the first time. This year, the VVIP enclosure will have a glass roof to protect the dignitaries from the rain, the cold weather and the pollution. Breaking away from tradition, this year's parade will be 25 minutes shorter than the usual duration. And what's very fascinating, Smita, is that in the last 1 year, we've had the Indian Air Force allow women, or announce that women will be allowed to fly fighter aircraft. And now a stunt force of the CRPF, women daredevils. You like the idea of having women daredevil stunt commandos doing their thing on Rajpath?
Absolutely, Rahul. Uniform anyways adds that extra special charm. And when it comes into women, of course, donning that uniform and, going in for the stunts on Rajpath, it will be anything, it has to be absolutely fantastic and spectacular to look forward to. Remember, Narendra Modi in the current government, of course, one of his pet schemes, that he has been stressing a lot on has been Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This entire Andolan, even when he, of course, addressed during the 15th of August from the ramparts of Red Fort in his first Independence Day speech as Prime Minister of the country, the entire focus was on women empowerment, on women education, which is the reason why we have seen a lot of, in fact, increase in the number of women troops and taking the command really, not just being a part of the contingent, but leading the commands as well. We saw that last year on Republic Day, and this year again it will add to the charm. And last year it was Barack Obama who witnessed, of course, the women contingents and also the a lot of the Russian, in fact, aircrafts rolled down Rajpath. This time it will be François Hollande who will be standing, of course, next to Narendra Modi.
Is there a certain sense of disappointment, Smita, in the French contingent that the much publicized Rafale fighter deal is not going through? There's an MOU that's been signed, but on the ground, when it came to price negotiations, both the Indian and the French contingents weren't able to seal that. Is there a sense of disappointment that this has been dragging on for way too long?
Well, more than disappointment, perhaps, yes, this is there's an increased sense that there needs to be a greater urgency. India's plans of upgradation of its air force, of its fleet, which has been aging, 1/3 of the fleet really more than 40 years old, that needs to be replaced. This has been on since 2007. We saw that MMRCA deal getting scrapped as well. The French, of course, know that at least there is a commitment now. Narendra Modi making that announcement in April of last year during his official visit to France, the 36 Rafales in flyaway conditions to be bought from France. But of course, negotiations are something very, very hectic. The commercial negotiations could not go through, which was being handled by Dassault Aviation initially, and now you have an intergovernmental agreement. But what was interesting yesterday in that press conference between Hollande and Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House, remember, Rahul, was how Hollande weaved in that entire narrative that Rafales are also being used to strike against the Islamic State, to carry out those aerial raids in Syria, in Iraq, in Africa as well. So he hoped that perhaps this could be expedited and resolved in the next few days, because clearly if it is not done, it could also end up with a lot of egg on the face even for the Modi government here.
EU MLA Sarfaraz Alam, along with his 2 associates, have been granted bail. However, they have been asked to cooperate with the investigation and their passports have been seized. The JDU lawmaker was...
Hello.